How's it going, guys? Ghost Caliber here, and today I wanted to tell you guys about a game that is very obscure, and I mentioned it in a previous video. This game is actually really fun. Honestly, I think it's a hidden gem for the for both genres of RTS and FPS. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so a little introduction for what Eximius is. Eximius is a hybrid first-person shooter RTS game, where RTS is real-time strategy. So pretty much blends Call of Duty with StarCraft. And this game has been out since 2021, and it is $10 right now, and it says it's a permanent price reduction. You can get it on Steam for $10. I'm gonna be honest, it's very much worth the 10. It is a really good game, and I'm gonna get into it right now. So, this game was made by Ammo Box Studios. They're actually a game studio from Malaysia. It was founded in 2008 by a man named Jeremy Chu. Now, this is their first and only game that they've ever made and or published. At least that's all I could find from them. And for a first time studio, honestly, especially from Malaysia, they've done a really good job. Because I'm not sure how game studios are there, but this is super good, and especially their servers are amazing. I don't hear much about games from Malaysia, and it's kind of weird seeing another country's game and like being so infatuated by it. It's so good. But if you have, I'm running for my PC. I'm running a ROG Zephyrus Duo 16. It's a pretty new model, and this game runs extremely well on it. Yeah, sure, it doesn't look too nice, which I'm going to get into that in a minute, but it runs actually really well on my computer. Sure, here and there I'll have some lag spills, but for the most part, it's working very, very normal, very much how much I would expect from a game like this. Now, before we get into all the good I have to say about this game, let's talk about some major gripes. And when I was looking at other reviews, which we're going to talk about those too later, other people's thoughts, towards the end of the video, the art is very bland, and it's bland art style, but I can look past it. All these are not that big of a deal to me, but yeah, the art style is pretty bland. The gunplay at times is clunky, but it doesn't feel unplayable. Yeah, it's clunky. It looks clunky, as you can see from the gameplay, but it's fun. It's like a really good experience. Regardless of how clunky it is, I can ignore it because of how much fun I'm having. Right. Another thing I have a gripe with is the AI. And the AI in the game, which you didn't know, Eximius. I should have said this before, my bad. Eximius is a 5v5 RTS FPS where you have 4 officers and 1 commander. The commander can also go to an officer, become an officer, but he's still the commander. Where the commander is doing all the RTS stuff. They're making troops, AI infantry troops, making vehicles that are also AI, and all that extra stuff, right? They're doing all the normal RTS things. While the FPS guys are like, okay, we need to take their victory points so that drains their points and keeps ours up. Because the goal of the game is to drain the enemy team's points by capturing victory points. But to help that, you need more weapons, you need more men, you need more vehicles, you need more tech, right? And the AI on some of the things, especially Iron Guards, which are for Axion Industries, which is one of the 2 factions you can play as, They are extremely efficient, where it's not to the point where it feels unfair, even though I do have some gripes with it, where it's like I'll be pinned, which I'm going to get into that in a second too, where I'll be pinned and these guys will just come out of the blue and just start firing at me through like a shred of my hitbox that was slightly above cover, and now I'm getting drained. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have considering gripes for this game. This game's really well made. So I'm going to describe the first person experience. So yeah, the first person experience is pretty basic. It's not like any other game I can really put it up to. At times it feels like Battlefield, where you'll be in a way, like you'll sit there playing, right? Sit there with your squad trying to capture a point, holding a point down, and then the enemy opposition is just trying to push your line. But your men, they're fighting, and then you get planes dropping stuff down. You got vehicles, your other officers coming in, and then all you just see is explosions, huge guns, and all this other stuff, right? And it's moments like that that make me really want to play this game, right? Because I know I can't find it anywhere else. Another thing is I do have a gripe with the first person mode, and my one issue with it is that sometimes your commander doesn't listen to you, and sometimes like your commander isn't as efficient with helping you out with getting you guys than they need to be, and I'm also guilty of this too, so it's not just an issue with that's happening to me, it's an issue that I've partaken as well. And I wish there was like a way to circumvent that. I'm not sure if it's just me who has that issue. I'm not sure, this game is not popular, so I can't really say so. But now I'm probably wondering, what about the RTS side, the commander side? Well, we'll get into that too. Okay, so for the commander side, it is traditional RTS, right? You have to make infantry, and with the added bonus of instead having, you can't really play defensively because you have to play alongside your officers. So make troops, give them to your officers, while also trying to make your own little surplus army to send out during the mid game, which is super hard if you do not have a good officers that are trying to capture the resource points that are around the map. But if you have a good team of officers that are able to capture the resource points as priority before taking the victory points, or at least alongside that, you can actually have a fairly fun experience that involves a lot of overseer type gameplay. Where one of the times that I was playing, I had a surplus army, and my guys were defending a point. So I had about a couple hundred guys. I think I had like 150. And I sent them all in, and we were taking resource points. We were taking victory points. And it's kind of like one of the main feels, one of the main draws of this game is that you can't really find this anywhere else, where you are overseeing and your team is also like, it's kind of like a chess game, right? The rest of your infantry is your pawns, but it's like you're playing chess, but your friends are also the chess pieces, and that is unique. But one of the things I do have that it's bad about it is that it feels like progression is too short, like too long. It feels like it takes too long to make what you need to, especially when it's mid-game. Because it's mid-game, and now you're trying to make things that are for the late, that you were trying to make for the early game, and now you need to focus on mid-game stuff when it's late game, and so on and so forth. And I'm not sure if it's just me, and I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not the best commander. I'm barely even a decent commander. but I try my best. And I'm not bad. We've won sometimes with me as commander. And I really have enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed being commander. I've enjoyed being an officer. And yeah, that's pretty much like all I have for issues and how I can describe the playing experience of being a commander. Now let's talk briefly about the story, and the reason I have to say briefly is because there isn't much of a story. And like their story is kind of boring. It's like lame. Not really, but I'm saying it's lame because the game doesn't go into it. Like, you get a super cool intro cinematic that's explaining how the world of Exemius got to the way it is. I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah. And you get that, and you're like, oh wow, I can't wait to learn about this. They went through the trouble of making a story of the world and who these factions are and why they do what they do, and yet you don't get to experience anything past that. It's like, it leaves with Plants vs. Zombies, and I can't believe I'm drawing a comparison to Plants vs. Zombies, but at least with Plants vs. Zombies, right? You don't really need anything else other than what they give you. You know why they're fighting. They're not that complex. Zombies want to eat humans. Plants protect humans. Boom, they fight. That's pretty simple reasoning for fighting, for going to war. This is complex. There's layers to this story, and they don't go into it at all. And I feel like they should. They leave some like little tidbits of info around the map. That would make things a lot more interesting from a gameplay and stories perspective. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say right now. Exemius, and forever, Exemius is only $10 on Steam. I'm not sure if it's gonna ever get ported to console. I hope so. And there is a silver lining. I did see PC, Xbox and console controls in the settings, so maybe one day we can get Exemius cross-plat and maybe we can play. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share the video out. That's the best thing to do for the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.